Carlos Mendoza, who joins us live from Yankee Stadium as the Mets get set to open up this 3-game series against the Yankees. So, Mendy, it's been the question all day. Are you going to boo Juan Soto when he's announced today?
I probably will. You know how it works here. You know, I was in the Yankees dugout for a lot of years, and especially with players from the Houston Astros team came on 2022, and I feel like the louder the boos get,
yes,
they raise, you know, not that they need that, you know.
The Altuve stuff, right?
Altuve, Correa, and Bregman, and, you know, at one point I was telling Buenos, like, I wish they'd stop wooing these guys. Right. So hopefully that's the case here, you know.
Be indifferent.
One doesn't need that.
Be indifferent. I'm telling the Yankee fan to be indifferent. It's worse when it's quiet
I
than
didn't know
when
you were a
someone.
Yankee fan.
Yeah, I mean,
Mendy's disgusted by you, Tiki.
why are you disgusted by me?
Jesus
I didn't
Christ.
meet any of the Mets. CC became a good buddy of mine. I met those guys, and so I became a Yankee fan, even though I'm a Virginian.
That's all right. That's all right. I'll give you a pass.
Thank you. I have one question we need to ask.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I wasn't even going to start.
I told you it's the first one you have to ask,
yes.
Kevin.
You want to do it?
I'll let you do it because I did it with Boone.
Listen, Mendy, you know I love you. All right? You know I'm a fan, even if I criticize half the moves you make.
That's
it's part of the business.
That's all right. That's all right.
You got to do me a favor tonight. And I've been screaming this on the radio for 2 days. Don't give Aaron Judge a pitch to hit. Don't even face him. Dare Cody Bellinger. Dare Paul Goldschmidt, who I respect. I respect those guys. They're scoring 5.9 runs per game. I get it. How do you face Aaron Judge tonight with how locked in he is?
Evan, I'm not going to sit here and give you the strategy, you know.
So wink at me. You're going to take care of it. You know what I mean?
We'll see. We'll let the game unfold, and I'll make some decisions there. So
I got you.
I've seen Judge play a lot.
Have you ever seen him this locked in?
Man,
this is insane.
It is, you know, but I'm not surprised by it. You know, I had a front row seat when he hit 62.
Right.
And watching him, what he's doing right now, he's hitting over 400, and he's just unbelievable. But I'm not surprised by it.
So here's what's going to happen. And you could ignore me. You have every right to. I'm sitting like very bougie seats tonight. I'm going to be to your left, okay?
Okay.
When Judge gets up.
So you'll be my bench coach?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say. I will stand up and we'll have a code. And all I'm going to scream is, walk 'em at the top of my lungs. If you don't hear it, that means attack.
Okay.
If you hear the walk 'em, you know.
All right.
Let's take care of business.
Remember when we had you at the beginning of
this?
we had you at the beginning of the season, and he had a suggestion for I forget what it was.
Pete
Alonso, and you were like, no.
Yeah, I shut that down.
Keep shut him down.
That was a good decision, by the way. Right. I was testing you to see if you realized that was not the right way to go.
But you went off on me for a couple of weeks on that?
Yeah, no, not about that. It was.
Okay.
I think it was like, I'm trying to remember what I was mad about. I think you didn't play Acuna once, and I was like, what are we doing here? Other than that,
I need to play 9. You know, I can play 13 of them.
No, that is the challenge right now.
So
how do you decide that?
That was the question. How do you decide? I mean, you have a tough decision almost every night.
Yeah, I think that's a good problem to have. You know, as a manager, you know, when you got 13 guys that you feel good about your chances, it doesn't matter who's in the lineup. That's a good problem. And my job is to keep everyone sharp, fresh, trying to create what we consider the best matchup. I feel like every day there's good matches for everyone, you know, but just try to put guys in position where we feel they're going to have success, and, you know, we'll go from there.
I think we asked you this last year. Is that gut or is that analytics?
A little bit of both. You gotta have both, you know. I use all the information. I got to use my instincts as well, like the feeling for people, feeling for that locker room, man. Like, right. It's important, you know, like it's not just the numbers. Yes, everybody has numbers. Everybody's going to go through it and all that, but you got to have a good pulse of, you know, that locker room. And I feel like not only myself, but our coaching staff, and I think we got a good thing going on, and the relationship between the players, coaches, is where it needs to be.
Now, Evan and I were talking about this a couple of days ago. You gave Soto a day off, something he very rarely takes. Last year he had games off, but it was only because he was battling some injury. Other than that, he usually wants to play 162.
Mm-hmm.
How did you approach that with him, and what was the ultimate reasoning that you gave him a day off ahead of the Subway Series?
I mean, look, it wasn't an easy one.
Because of him?
Yeah, I mean, you never want to take Juan Soto out of the lineup, right? But you're playing the long game here, trying to keep everyone fresh, still early, playing a lot of games. We just got done to a stretch where we played 26 and 27 days, the travel and all that. So I've been asking him, and then the night before I went up to him, and, he was kind of like, well, you're the manager, But I finally made the decision. He was like, all right, and I went with it, but yeah.
Did playing the Yankees and the emotion of this series, or that stolen base where it looked like he was doing some gymnastics after, did those two things at all play into it being the right time to give him an off day?
No, I think it was just the off day. It got nothing to do with the Yankees. It was just, I felt like it was important for him to, with the off day behind it, he was, you know what, I'll give you 2. So that was all.
How do you decide that? Because you got a lot of guys who don't sit. Like Pete Alonso never sits. Francisco Lindor never sits unless his wife is giving birth, and then he'll miss only like 1 day.
Right.
So what are you looking at, especially with those guys? You've already done it with Juan. You explained your thinking there on deciding how you're going to take that, or why you're going to take that guy out of the lineup.
I think it's just knowing the personalities here. I'm still getting to know Juan. We only been together for 6 weeks or so. Forget about spring training. I'm talking about regular season. But being around Pete, this guy, I saw him really, really sick last year, and he with days where it's like, you're not playing. It's like, oh yeah, I'll be ready at 7 o'clock. Let me take a nap.
Right.
Lindor, same way. But these are ongoing conversations that, I'm having with the players. And, hey, I'm thinking, probably a week from now, we got 12-game stretch here. Like, I'm thinking one of those you're going to be off.
One of the White Sox games. Sit him.
So
right.
I hate to do it at home,
Oh, I get that. Yeah.
That was hard for me. It's a home game. Fans want to come and watch their superstar. If you do it on the road, okay, but it's hard. But I felt like with Juan again, it was important for him. I was just taking advantage of the time.
What about DH days? I mean, has he had one yet?
One DH.
He had one, and
he didn't like it.
Yeah, he's not a big fan of that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but again, that is part of it. It's like it's a half day off. You see, but. These guys, that's why they're special. That's why they're elite. They want to be out there. They know how important they are for the team, for the lineup, just their presence, and you got to respect that.
Yeah.
You've got to know Met fans over the last year and a half. We are a sick bunch, and there are some Met fans. I am not one of them, but I think it's important for me to at least ask you this. There are Met fans that view Juan Soto's body language, view his celebrations, and are worried that he's not happy. You're in the room every day. Can you reassure those Met fans that Juan Soto is indeed happy being a New York Met?
Man, he's loving it. Like he's super happy. He might not show it there for people, but man, everything that you see in that locker room since the first time, first thing when you walk to the ballpark, and he's there, like he's a smile, he's always interacting with people. Perfect example, the other day when I gave him a day off, I'm thinking, okay, he's probably going to be, I walk in the weight room and he's, full conversation with our strength and conditioning, and he's getting out there. It's like, dude, I thought he was
right, off day is off day.
Yeah,
don't do nothing, right?
But he loves it. He gets along really well with everyone in there. I know people like to do whatever they want, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Let me ask.
Let him be Juan Soto at the play right field and hit homers for the New York Mets.
Mindy, let me ask you about Pete Alonso, who's having an unbelievable start to this season so far. You saw him last year. We could chalk it up to the pressure of being in a contract year, whatever it is. But this year, we talk about Judge being locked in. Pete Alonso is right there, locked in as well. Probably one of the favorites early on for the NL MVP. What have you seen different with him this year?
Yeah, look, I mean, this guy came in on a mission. Not that he wasn't on a mission last year, but it's just a different mindset for some reason. The way he's preparing, the at-bats, he was watching film, scouting reports, talking to players, talking to coaches. You got to give him credit. In the offseason, and he said it, he needed to work on his mechanics and the hips and this and that, and he put a lot of work on it. And right now, he's seeing results, but he's on a mission, man. He's on a mission, and the way he's controlling the strike zone, not missing pitches. We know the powers. He's one of the best power hitters in the game, but when he's not chasing, man, he's dangerous.
Right. And, one of the things that we all speculate about is after the season over, he's going to opt out. He's going to, we talk about Soto being happy. Soto can be happy because he's got 15 years to be paid a lot of money. Pete Alonso is not necessarily in that state. Where is he as an emotion with this team right now? Do you get a sense of that?
No, same guy that, last year going to his free agent year, he's same, wants to win, knows how much he means to this fan base and what it takes to play in New York. And look, I'm hoping that he goes out there and wins an MVP. It's good for the Mets. It's good for Pete Alonso, and we'll see what it takes.
Right. So last year, the OMG Mets, Jose Iglesias, even J.D. Martinez, big part of that locker room. And I remember before the season was starting, I was asking you, how different is this room going to be? Well, here we are. We're a quarter way through the season. You guys have been awesome. How would you compare last year's locker room to this year's locker room?
Yeah, I mean, every year is different. You got a lot of different personalities, but our core is still in place. You know, the Lindors, the Pete Alonso, the Brandon Nemo, Sean Manaea was everybody talk about Iglesias and JD, who were great. You know, part of the reason our turnaround, you know, you got to give credit to Jose, you got to give credit to JD, but, you know, some of the main guys are still here. And every year's different. It'll happen organically. I feel like our locker room is really, really strong. Those guys get along well, but not only they get along, because, you know, like they don't have to get along, they got to respect each other,
right.
You know, and they got to go out there, they got to prepare, they got to compete, and they got to have fun, you know, and that's what we're doing. You know, it's a healthy group that likes to play for each other, and they're not afraid to call each other out when they have to, you know, and hold people accountable, and that's what it's going to take. We will continue to add people. Guys will come in and out, and it's our job to make those guys welcome when they walk through those doors.
You mentioned Sean Manaea. What's his status?
Yeah, so he threw a bullpen yesterday. He's scheduled to throw another one here on Sunday, so that's good that he's already on the mound. So hopefully a few more bullpens and then start facing hitters, and then we'll go from there.
What are you seeing from Luis Angel Acuna that makes you not really want to use him in center field? I know he played a few innings there the other day, but it jumped out at me. I think it was last week. McNeil's played center. Acuna's been at second. Is that more about you like him at second base defensively, or is there something about him in the outfield that clearly I don't see because I haven't seen him play there, where that makes you hesitate giving him that crack to play center field?
Yeah, I'm not hesitation at all. Like I feel really comfortable playing him, whether he's at short, second, or center. Last year we did it. We prepared him for this potential role. I just like him in the dirt. You know, I like him at second base.
So you playing him at second and McNeil at center is more, you just like him a lot.
I feel like we're better defensively with that alignment.
Okay.
You know, it depends who's pitching too.
Right.
You know, like if we have a ground ball pitcher, you know, so I'm comfortable with Jeff at second. I'm comfortable with Luis Angel there, and then Jeff in center if we got to go that route after you guys seen it. It's another good problem to have, you know, with not only we got good players, but the versatility that they provide, it makes my in-game move. The other day we saw it, you know. Before we know it, we got Brett Beatty at second base, Jeff in right, and then Luis Angel was in center field. So there's a lot of different ways I could go here.
You just mentioned Brett Beatty. Talk about Brett getting his opportunity to come back, because obviously that was a hard decision to send them down, and it just, when we talked about it, it was how's he getting another chance? And obviously it presents itself because this is sport.
That's
and
how
guys get hurt.
Works,
Just
right?
it's all sports work.
People start worrying, what are you going to do with this? What are you going to do? Before
So,
you know it, something happens.
But him coming back, his opportunity is now, and he has to prove it. I know it's pressure for a young player like that, but he's handling it well.
Yeah, you got to give him credit. And it was a different conversation when we sent him down the last time. It's like, hey, man, we're sending you down not because you can't play here. It's just you're going to have playing time here. So you're going to be back. I know he's telling you this. You're going back to the minor league.
Was he upset about that?
He understood. He understood. I get it. And then he's getting another chance here, and man, he's taking advantage of that opportunity. Man, he's showing some really good signs. The power's real.
Right.
So it's always good to see our young players continue to develop and play well at this level.
Early on in the history of the Subway Series, these Bobby Valentine and Joe Torre, they managed differently. Like it was like a playoff game. Do you feel that way about these games, or is it, you got to manage the 162?
No, I mean, look, if the Yankees, yes, the way I manage every game like it's a playoff game. Yes, there's a difference because you're playing 162 and all this and that. But every game's important. Every series is important. Yeah, we're playing the Yankees, but our job is to come in here and win a series. So, and that's what we're going to do here.
Now, I know Clay got hit around a little bit his last time out, but the transition to a starter is something I don't think the Yankees even thought about. But it seems to be working well. I mean, how is he handling now starting games as opposed to closing them?
Yeah, no, look, man, he's adjusting well. That transition, I think just the changeup for me, you know, seen it with the Yankees. He was a two-pitch guy.
Right.
And it's a high-leverage situation with every time he came in. You know, he give up a run, maybe the game's over.
Right.
2 runs, the game's over.
So it's easier.
Yeah, so as a starter, you give up 2 in 6 innings, that's a great outing. You know, you're giving the team a chance to win a baseball game, and that's what he's doing. I think the way he's preparing, how he's bouncing back after every outing, and the way he's using all of his pitches, man. I'm happy for him.
between him and Griffin Canning and Huascar Brazaban with like a 1.2 ERA. What the heck is going on in that pitching lab?
I know it.
It's like magic.
Look, there's a lot of good things happening. We're attacking hitters. We're playing good defense behind those guys, too. I mean, that goes hand in hand, you know. Catcher's doing a really good job being on the same page. I think as a whole, you know, the run prevention side of things, we're doing a pretty good job of.
Walk Aaron Judge as much as you can tonight. Don't let this guy
I'll
beat
wait
us.
Wait
for the signal. All right, it's just going to be a loud, screeching voice that says "walk 'em," and you will follow suit. Except
so
that thing.
first inning.
You know what? It depends.
First inning, Grisham makes an out, so 1 out, nobody on base.
I walk him.
You walk him.
You know what? I know that sounds
This is
nuts.
why he's not the manager.
But hold on. I'm going to defend my crazy position. I know it sounds nuts, but
It's the first inning.
it is the first thing. But the guy's hitting 417.
So you don't believe in our offense. So you don't think we are able to score 1 run.
Sometimes I don't believe in their offense. The other night against the Pirates was a little leaky. I don't know, man.
Hey, they're big league. You see the pitching staff?
The Pirates pitching staff is pretty good. It's actually better than people realize.
It is.
But that game on Wednesday was a little, you know.
All right.
It was a little shady. By the way, one last thing about the
You're
offense.
like your biggest fan and your biggest critic,
Well,
all in the same sentence.
That's what we are as fans. I mean, it's the same thing. Why do you think, because I think this offense will click, I'm not worried about the offense, but why do you think there's been struggles with runners in scoring position? It's been going on since the beginning of the year, and it kind of has continued for a while. Is it bad luck? Is it what do you think and what do you attribute to the runners in scoring position struggles?
Well, the way I see it is we're getting a lot of guys on. We're getting a lot of opportunity. So it feels like if we go 3 for 10, it's like, man, just 7 times they didn't get the job done. But, you know, I've seen sac flies. I've seen guys putting the ball in play. The other day, Soto, you know, with a slow roller to first base. That goes as an 0 for 1, but he got the RBI. You know, the other day, he hit a ball in St. Louis where the guy robbed
The home run, Victor Scott, yeah.
So, and then Nem goes out there with the bases loaded. The guy makes a diving play. So, you know.
Some of it is bad luck, yes.
So, you know, like I sit here and say, you know what? Keep getting guys on base. Let's just keep creating traffic, and we're going to be in a good spot.
It's a long season.
That's right.
Thank
It's
you,
a
Mendy.
long season. Get it done, man.
All right, man.
Thank you, Mendy.
All right.
Good to see you.
Carlos Mendoza, the manager of the New York Mets, getting you set for Mets Yankees. We'll come back. We'll get back to your calls on tonight's game, on the Knicks Game 6.